I know you, I can feel you with the green of soul. It's more than empty dreams and promises. It's not infecting me no more. When all I say to you is getting gone, you won't be feeling me no more. I know you, I can feel you with the green of souls. When you're not looking at me, I feel so slow. When all those dreams of all our memories, there's nothing alone and one. And thoughts of you just bring me down inside. I sing it with the green of souls. I know you, I can feel you with the green of souls. When you're not looking at me, I feel so slow. Get your hands up. It's more than empty dreams and promises.
All right, back one more time. Here we go, you guys. Thank you guys for watching the listening room. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. Like the video for the content. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. You guys are awesome. All right, my guest today is a graduate of Otis College of Art and Design. She became the head designer of women's bottoms for Abercrombie & Fitch and has moved on to work for Mossimo for 4 years. She has since been working in the private label sector and recently self-employed as a single mother of two. She has innovated and released a brand new company called Momma Osa. Please welcome to the program Miss Jen Cox. How are you, Jen?
Hi, I'm good.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being with us again, Ari, as well. Totally appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ari.
So let's start the show off like I like to start my day off. I like to start off every show the same with a little bit of gratitude. So why don't you tell me something you're grateful for today?
I mean, I would just say the opportunity to do something bigger than myself, to not only start a company, but then to also be able to give back to our communities and, you know, work with the youth homeless and the foster families in our community, I think is probably the biggest thing that, you know, besides just being able to provide for the family, to be able to do those types of things in my business. So, yeah.
That's really cool. And you're able to actually utilize helping other people to keep your family sustained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Again, that's kind of you'll find in it's funny throughout this little mini series of
Yep.
business, you'll find that that's kind of an ongoing theme here. We've had Paulo in and Joe in and yourself now, and everybody has said almost a very similar, while in their own realm and while saying something completely different, have the correlation is that by helping others, it has created more abundance in their own lives.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, business is not only just about our flexibility, it's how we make our impact in this world. So, you know, I think that's the biggest thing that you have to focus on.
Of course, and I think well, one of the things Ari told me before you came in here is that your business has been very successful in a very short amount of time, and I will say a lot. That's probably a large part of that is probably attributed to the fact that you're not just out there trying to get a buck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You started this to help people. Why don't you explain just as real quickly before we move into Ari's gratitude? Why don't you explain just real quickly how you started Momma Osa?
So Ari and I actually were sitting down, reconnecting. We grew up together in St. John Bosco and St. Joseph's High School. And I was like, you know, wanted to see what he was up to. So we sat down. I told him this tiny little idea I had about giving back, but making socks and tees. And he was like, yo, you got to do this. You know, I love the idea of a side hustle for you and just something like a passion project. And I'm like, okay, but it was a drop in the bucket idea.
Okay.
But then when you have somebody who's like, you need to get after this. When are we launching? When are we doing X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And it was just, it was the motivation and the push that I needed. And so we put a date on the calendar and we launched. So it was just, one of those things where.
So what exactly was the company? You said earlier you were mentioning T-shirts and socks.
Yeah.
So how does this go?
We started as wanting to sell T-shirts and socks as buy one get one, or buy one give one.
Buy one give one. So one gets donated to homeless youth.
Yeah, we donate to Olive Crest is the foster family organization, and we do Covenant House in Hollywood.
Very cool.
For the homeless youth there. And it was just something that I've always been passionate about.
That's cool. So for every shirt that's purchased, one is donated to homeless youth. For every set of socks that's purchased, one is donated to homeless youth.
Correct.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's something that people want to get behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess it makes sense that when you're buying a mask or a pair of socks or a T-shirt, because now we pivoted into masks.
Sure.
We've donated 6,000 masks now, and it's only because of people helping and people buying their mask, and then I turn around and put some of the proceeds, and we give to others who are in these communities that can't necessarily get them for ourselves. So we're trying to do our best to help. Super cool.
And in that helping others and focusing on the donation part and saying, look, we're gonna do a 1-for-1 thing, the business has skyrocketed, if I may say so. But yeah, which is really cool. Like I said, that's really appreciated. Your gratitude for being able to help people and keep your family sustained by doing that. And I like the way that you designed it. I like the way you formatted it, and just it's simple, but it's something that works, and it's something that's magnetic. It's something that I would do. I would do that. I'd buy a shirt. Hey, I'll buy one and just donate one to a homeless youth. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really, really great and very commendable thing, and it's obviously something that people can actually feel like they're actually being part of, as well as giving back to the community as well.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. Ari, why don't you give me something you're grateful for, brother?
Today, it's the act of prayer.
Nice.
Because there's days and
Unexpected.
times where there's days and times where you have everything around you, you just need that other being to kind of just share some information with, and that meditative part of prayer allows you to kind of clear your mind and kind of slow things down a little bit and kind of appreciate things. And even if it's the fact of just like saying a prayer, like I'm Catholic, and sometimes I'll just say the Our Father, okay, and that's all of 30 seconds, but it was 30 seconds of just that, so it just kind of like takes the waves, mellows it out, and you can get back on it,
Yeah.
I dig that.
So yeah, prayer.
Yeah,
that.
There's a lot to be said for that moment to stop, acknowledge, the higher power, and just kind of, allow, get out of its way and your own way, and just kind of allow it to do its thing, allow, everything to, because everything is like the universe and God are always conspiring for your highest interests constantly.
Yeah.
We're only getting in our own ways. And for a minute, to be able to take that little bit of time, 30 seconds, like you said, and just let it go, and give it up to whatever it is that you believe in, whether it's God or Buddha or whatever it may be, and Alan Watts once said, and I always loved this, that's always rang real true to me, is it's not the word water that gets you wet. Do you get that? It's not what you call it. It's not whatever you want to label it, whether it's Jesus or Spirit or the universe or God or Muhammad or Buddha or whatever it may be that you want to, accept as your God. It's not the word. It's not the label. It's that feeling. It's that thing that's inside of you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alan Watts was a philosopher. But yeah, man, I absolutely love that, dude.
Yeah.
But just getting into a little prayer, just a little 30-second one can absolutely clear the mind, bro. It can really clear the emotions,
I love that.
Yep.
Absolutely, dude.
Right on.
And I love both of those. And I'm actually grateful today for being for the consistency of the people I've been around recently to bring in to my life a vibe of help equals abundance, of helping others, of people who are focused on, such as yourself, Joe, and Paulo, particularly on the last 3 days, and Ari that brings these people in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you see the consensus,
the correlation
like,
here, right? Exactly.
Like
you know what I'm
maybe
saying?
the center
Like,
focus
it's
of
all right.
how that
Yeah.
starts.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why he's on the show regularly. So.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I appreciate the consistency of the. Of those kind of people in my life and that I get to meet on a regular basis.
Yeah.
People who are, like I said, focused on helping the community, focused on doing better for those around themselves, and acknowledging that in doing that, they are also receiving. They're also in receivership.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for like I said, for the consistency and the awareness and just like I said, the presence. You know, for that type of for that type of energy. You know. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, let's get into it today. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Momma Osa?
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with us starting and thinking it was just gonna be socks and tees.
Okay.
And then, Ari and I brainstorming really wanted to talk about the marketing. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put a pop-up, or we're gonna put a little launch party on the calendar. And he would not let me back up. And he's like, put it on the calendar,
Sure,
January
yeah.
10th. So we started marketing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I mean, we did it at LabWorks. We partnered, and I mean, it was way more successful than I would have ever imagined. I had friends, family, people who had just heard about it, local Lakewood, Bellflower, Long Beach people, actually all over. People showed up that I was very thankful and grateful to see. And it was really amazing to see that kind of support. The tie-dye aspect of the business is really what has caught fire. Kind of hit a trend, if you don't mind.
So
me
is
saying
that
so.
what started this? Was it a tie-dye type thing? Tie-dye event?
It was. I mean, that's what kicked it off. I had launched the website on the first of the year. I gave myself a goal and hit that. Sat myself on my couch for 2 weeks, built my own website. Have no web experience in my life.
That's
but
how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Sat down and did it, and launched it, and then got like 2 sales. And then it wasn't until the launch party that we really kind of started picking up speed. And then from there, Ari really introduced me to some really cool people and had me thinking of, opportunities and possibilities. And then one after another, I joined this Moms LA group, put pop-ups on the calendar, and really started booking more of like a pop-up company, like a pop-up tie-dye company, and had me going in different directions when I got laid off. And, I was already doing my company, but I had another job. So it kind of gave me a chance to take a step back and really think about how I wanted to focus and drive the business.
Interesting. So, one of the things you said actually just now was super interesting to me. Actually, the building your own website with no experience. Let's go back to that for a second here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm familiar with that, and I will say this. And in being in music for as long as I've been, you have to. I always thought I was the guy that, even through my 20s, that I'll just play the music and everyone else will do everything else. Someone else will do the website. Someone else will do the recording. Someone else will do this.
Yeah.
You have to
No,
eventually
every
know
hat
how
is
to.
my hat. Yeah.
No one is going to do it for you.
Yeah.
You have to learn,
Can't
or
wait
you're
to
gonna have to
tell you
pay
something about
someone,
that.
and sometimes it's just not an option. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you did was you took it upon yourself and you just said, I'm going to learn. And you took the time and you just dove in head first and made it happen.
Yeah.
Which is super cool, and that's very rare. You don't have very many people who have the ambition to do that. A lot of people, how did you learn how to do that? I took 2-3 days. I took 2-3 days, 2 weeks to learn how to put this together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that things kind of happen in a mysterious way, right? Like last year, my passion is denim. It's what I've always breathed in my career. And, our business, the old business that I was in, kind of took a turn, and our business in denim kind of went in a different direction. And so they put me into the men's department. The men's department was focused on e-com, and something I had never done
Really?
before. And it was like, I don't know.
So
how
it
to
threw you into
I don't know how to do this. I've never done
Interesting.
it, but from my experience in the past, I just was like, this is an amazing opportunity. Like, how can I really explore this as an opportunity in my life? So I just started learning and asking questions. And if there's something you'll know about me, I'm just like, I don't know that. Can you explain that to me again? Because obviously I'm not ignorant. I've never done it before. So can you
You're learning.
roll me back a little
Yep.
bit?
Yeah.
So I started learning about all the opportunities online. And so that kind of was this gift, this really interesting gift. So then now when
Super
I'm
cool.
planning my own stuff, I'm like, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to, so it was really great opportunity for me to learn.
Super cool.
So that was really cool.
You were able to find, for lack of a better word, a rhythm,
Yeah.
and then kind of go and then say, oh, I know what works here.
Yeah.
I'm going to find this rhythm again,
Right.
and use it for myself now.
Yeah, so, when the company started doing the pop-ups and things like that, we were kind of booking our calendar. I was excited. I had taken some time off from looking for a full-time job, to compensate my salary, just to kind of take a break. Ari was like, just take a breather. You've been working a long
Yep.
time.
Slow it
Why don't
down.
you just take a second and think about what it is that you really want to do? So I really took some time and kind of thought about it. And then as I was starting to have some conversations about what I wanted to do, COVID hit.
Bam.
And I remember sitting in my dining room and like having this moment of just to say, like, it was like panic and fear. Like you have those moments sometimes, right? And it was 20 minutes. And I allowed myself this 20 minutes to literally have like a pity party, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? My savings, X, Y, Z, like everything was around me. I cried, I got it out, and then like I shook it off. Like my mom and dad have always said, okay, all right, get on with it. Have your moment,
Yep.
and then let's move on. And then I got up and I started looking around. I have all this tie-dye stuff around me. Like everything, giveaways, product, tie-dyes. And then I looked down and my kids, I'm a single mom of two, Lincoln and Jackson. Jack's is 7, Link is 10. And I see this little kit that they got for cooking in the mail, and I'm like, I bet you that'd be cute with some tie-dye stuff in it. So I started like folding, stuffing. Being in the fashion industry for so long, you like, oh, this is gonna be so cute. Oh no, that sucks. Let's make it cuter. And so I made this little kit. I put it on my table. I took a picture. I literally printed out a photocopy of Momma Osa, stuck it on top of their box, took a picture, and put it up on my website. And that's how it started.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
It was not perfect.
Talk about
for it.
DIY.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Talk
saying?
about thinking
Yeah.
outside of the box.
No, it's perfect,
and
dude.
the frame set of being very agile and making sure that, when we had the event at the shop, it was more of like a tie-dye art show because we needed a concept because it's going to sell tie-dye socks and t-shirts. We just do an art show and then people think tie-dye live. We had 150 people there
At least.
plus.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It was really
but it was
great.
being very agile and being able to jive and shake and move and just go,
Yeah, and we had kids that came and volunteered.
Yeah.
We had volunteers like teaching how to tie-dye. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
Just being in the moment. It was really great because we had structured it so that people, the helpers were helping. They could also, be there to help so that I could be talking about our message, about giving back. And
Yep.
so that was also really, really great. It was a lot of fun. So, but then also, next, the pop-up company
Yep.
turned into the activity kit company, and then the mask situation started. And I was like, if we all have to wear masks,
I'm
we
making masks.
yeah, like what? Like I've been to China like literally almost all my life.
Yeah.
No, at least half of my life.
Yeah.
And so I used to go a lot. I haven't gone lately, but and so one of the things is that I started reaching out to partners and just had kept up my relationships from my past companies. And just started the conversation about masks. They were reaching out, Jen, is everything okay? We're concerned about you. Can we send you masks? I'm like, yeah, okay. Put one up on the website, gone. Put another one up on the website, gone. And I was like, ooh.
The growth just, I mean, it was
This
like,
this is early
like
on. This is
an
right at the
opportunity.
beginning. Right at the beginning.
Right.
So sure enough, then I started talking to Ari, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about
Wow.
us customizing? Just having conversations. And what could he say? No? Like, he could definitely say no, but I was like, we got to make this accessible to the people.
Yeah.
And so we started customizing. And then the day Governor Newsom made his announcement in California, I looked at my savings account, looked at the opportunity, and I just rolled the dice. I put 20,000 masks into work.
Yep.
I got them about 3 weeks later without a sales rep, without knowing who I was going to sell them to, just my
Zero.
little rinky-dink site. And I placed my bet, and they are all gone, plus some. I'm in the mass business. We sell to Tilly's, the Buckle Jeans Warehouse Kid box. and we're also getting some new people on board now. So, it's the blessings. I can't even tell you. Like, I called people, hey, what are you doing? You want to sell some masks? Hey, I got these really cute cats. Can I send them to you? No. Okay. How about you? This is what I'm up to. And I just kept going. And that's one thing that we kind of talk about in some of our brainstorming sessions. Is like, just because one person may not be interested does not mean that the next person won't. You can't take it personal. I just am like, okay, that wasn't the right person on my journey.
Exactly.
Like, let's keep moving. And I finally talked to a really wonderful person that, you're some of the best advice that one of my friends told me was that you are as strong as your Rolodex. Well, most of us don't have Rolodexes anymore, but we have these things called cell phones.
Yeah.
And I just started going through my phone, looking people up and dialing their number. Some people haven't heard from me in years. Hey, this is Jen. How are you? And I just started calling people and talking and asking them how they were doing and checking in and just saying, how are you surviving, and just connecting and being genuine. And one after another, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? And I'm like, well, if you know anybody who wants to sell my masks, or if you know anybody. And sure enough, one person connected me to another person who said no, but she's like, oh my gosh, I love your energy. I love your approach. Why don't I put you in touch with my first sales rep? And she has been amazing. She's opened so many doors for me, and we're continuing to work together. And now she's the first, and now we've built another sales team in Dallas. We got accepted into like another sales team in Dallas, and now we just onboarded another sales rep in New York.
Wow.
So we are selling nationally to specialty stores, and we're in some of the majors, and we're getting into more of the majors.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
crazy,
really that's really, really cool. And and this happened pretty much all of this growth happened pretty much since March 14th.
Yep.
I mean, I would say since March 14th, it's really kind of turned around. But I'll tell you, I mean, I would like to say, it's been super fast. I don't want to say it's been easy.
No.
Because that is definitely not the message. I mean, if you're home every day, obviously, taking care of two kids. My dad lives next door. My dad's 80, very agile, wonderful man of 80 years old. And he is like also the wind underneath my wings is how I should put it. He's been packing masks, helping me, strategize. I can hear him on the phone with the family. Yeah, we're making masks now and activity kits. And I just love that, we're building this together.
That's cool.
But, I think when you're home and you've had the opportunity to be at home and you've got your kids and you're trying to launch a business, you're homeschooling. I mean, there were days I remember calling Ari going, Ari, you have to call me back. Ari, you have to call me back. Okay, call me back. And so he picks up the phone and calls me back. He's like, what's up? I'm like, okay, I'm not having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, but I could definitely feel it from here. And he's like, all right, tomorrow, me and you, the whiteboard. And we literally mapped out all my ideas, how we were going to accomplish it. I mean, I want everyone to have someone like that when they're a new business owner, to be able to do that, because sometimes the partners around you and the people that you strategize with and that help you work through the challenges are just as important as I have this idea. But if your idea is not supported by the people around you, it's sometimes it's really hard. And I have a lot of support. I mean, just so much support in helping and guiding, and then also my years of experience of things that I've been doing. Obviously a lot of it's gone on gut, some risk, and just knowing like how I want things done is really important to me. So I don't like to take no for an answer.
Right.
It means another way to ask. I mean, on the business side, obviously, yes, it's all awesome, it's moving, but at the same time, we planned for everybody else to get in the mask game. I can honestly say we were one of the first ones private labeling masks out of the gate when like the PPEs got introduced. We said, here are the cheaper masks, let's do some cooler masks, and I think if anything, it's one of those things where we were able to gauge. I said, we knew we're going to sell a lot out of the gate, and I told her it's going to flatten out, and then after it flatten out, then we'll pick back up, because everybody's going to get into it. They're going to get in it for the wrong reasons, or they're going to not have access to it like the way we do, and then keep building the business from there. So I think on the business end, the mentality of our mind being open allowed the business to grow, because some people say momentum's hot, and then when it flattens out, they give up. not knowing it's gonna take off again, and that's what's
Yeah.
happening here. So
So in the mask business is a little saturated right now. I won't lie.
True.
So we have inventory just in case anybody needs anything. But besides that, I think so I definitely started building in, like I took the risk on the 20,000 masks and sold through all of them. And now I'm taking orders on like production. So now they have to wait 5 to 6 weeks. We can turn them, ship them,
So
and they're in
just
store.
so people out there kind of get an understanding for what kind of risk versus reward you took and got. Okay, you bought 20,000 masks. Can I ask at a relative price point?
Okay.
I'm just
I
curious.
would say-
say ouch,
'cause-
like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like,
because here's what I want people to understand.
if this doesn't
Yeah.
work,
What I want people to understand is that you took a significant bet
Yep.
and you placed it on you. You didn't
Yeah.
place it on
No.
Bitcoin or
Yes.
you didn't place it on gold or
Nope.
silver.
Yeah.
No.
You placed it on Jen Cox.
Yeah.
Yep.
And said, I have an idea. I think I can do this. I just sold like so fast. I'm selling these
Yeah.
things. So I think I can sell 20,000 masks.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say, price point it. Price point
Well,
me
I'm
down.
not telling you how much I paid. Or something.
Price
But,
point me down. I'm just saying for the first 20,000, so people could understand that putting a significant bet into yourself and risk it netted you also a significant reward. On the flip side of that.
Yeah, I would say also, and this is just something because I am the small guy, it's like you pay X amount of dollars for a mask. Bigger companies have to make so much more
Sure.
on that mask.
Of course.
So I'm
yeah.
more competitive
Sure.
as a smaller company.
Right.
I mean,
Instead of asking a specific price point, what I should
Yeah.
have said, what was the profit percentage on the first 20,000 masks?
oh, that's yeah.
I mean, it was
Significant?
significant.
When it was
So-
bought, it was like, oh shit, Ari, I just bought 20,000 masks,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, let's go. There's no turning back now. You're back again. Our conversation's
Right.
on. Your back's against the wall. You have all this inventory is going to show up. What are you going to do?
We spent
Let's go.
about 25,000, I would say, on the initial, and then on the back end,
It's a risk.
that has probably yielded anywhere. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but at least like 50 to 60 to
So you-
70,000.
So you almost tripled your money.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, and that's a bet that, like I said, you bet on yourself. If you have an idea out there, guys, don't be afraid. Now's the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's gonna work out. And I like what you said before. Something you said like totally rang true with me. You said that you got a no. You said that you got a no or a couple no's. You're very lucky that you only got one or two no's.
No, there was definitely more than one or two.
Okay, I was gonna say because most people
I just didn't really
experience.
focus on that.
Most
you know?
people get no until they
Yeah.
get a yes. But here's the thing that people don't realize. People realize that you're like, okay, so do you know who David Meltzer is?
Yes.
So David Meltzer, he's a business. He talks about business and stuff, and he says something along these lines that if people knew that there were only 25 no's away from their first yes, how fast would they be racing to get those no's?
Yeah, and I think, a lot of times we take things personal, right? We're human beings,
Totally.
we're creatures, and it's like we have ego or whatever. But if
Yep.
you just
Yep.
removed like what that no meant,
Yes.
if you just said,
It's not an attack on me.
you turn off all the like gibberish
Yep.
of what that no meant to. Oh, that
Yes.
reminded me of when I was 5 and
Somebody
and-
rejected
and-
me for some
yeah, and
reason,
it's like,
right.
no, it just means no. It just
It
means
just
that
means-
what person was
correct.
not the right person. And so I think applying that mentality to your business and just knowing what
Yeah.
you want, and also I'll just say, like, there has been, when I say blessings, like, I've been sharing about my passion, I've been sharing about my story, and believe it or not, they're like, Jen, how is this going? Like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, well, we're taking some risks. I just took another one. I'll just share that really quickly. So
Sure.
gotta take a deep breath for this one. But so the activity kits, I get a rep in Dallas, and I'm still making them by hand. We're pressing the boxes. I've got my sidekick over here,
Yeah.
my partner in screen printing, and Ari, I need some boxes. Okay. Hey, I need some bags. Okay. And so we're turning these bags And then the Dallas rep's like, I love these kits. Let's take them to market in June. I'm like, all right. I'm like, how many are we going to sell? I mean, to date, they were selling well, you know, for profit margin online. We were doing relatively well, right? And then I get a rep. And the orders start coming and coming and coming and coming. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think we can take any more orders.
Yeah, we can't even fill all
the USA is out of tie-dye.
Wow.
Supplies. So like I am,
USA.
and I hustle, right? I'm like online trying to figure out like where can I get it? Where can I get it? And I'm actually driving the prices up on tie-dye myself because I have bought now
So
every single
much.
tie-dye kit in America is in my garage. Because it's
Okay.
like if you drop the hammer,
I know where to go if I need some tie-dye
yeah, like
stuff.
hey, Momma Osa, tie-dye ninja. So
Tie-dye ninja.
sure enough, so we started making them and selling them, and needless to say, we'd probably sold a little over 200 in like 2 months, which is, you know, pretty great.
Yeah.
So we dropped the hammer. The Dallas rep sells almost 700 and some masks in 2 weeks. And I'm like, holy cow. So we're shipping, packing in my really fabulous warehouse, AKA my garage.
Perfect.
And
As most amazing companies that end up being multi-billion-dollar companies start
Yep.
off in
Yeah.
garages.
Yep.
so
So run with that.
Yep.
Anyway.
yeah, so
know?
and also have a wonderful coworker. Her name's Varinia, and she's been so dedicated and helpful along with my dad. And so
Very cool.
she and I work, like she'll help with the packing, and what she ends up telling me, she's like, why don't you go make money? So she sends me in the house so she can pack and ship, and then I'm online doing the paperwork, doing the invoicing, making the calls, doing the deals, and it's actually been really working. But when I tell you there's some days we're out there and we're packing and shipping and doing all this stuff, so at the same time that this is happening, I'm like, we cannot sustain this level of working like
Sure.
this. So at almost the same time, a news channel reaches out and goes, we love your product. Can we feature you? And I'm like,
No.
how can we get any busier? Like,
Not
I'm
right
sure
now.
how this
You're
is
like,
gonna happen.
Can you do it in
Hold on.
3 months?
Yeah.
me.
And so they go, I said, well, how many homes do you guys go into? And they're like 90 million homes. And I'm like, okay, I'm
Dude.
not a mathematician, I'm a designer, but even like 0.25% of orders is going to send me.
You want that.
Yeah.
You want that.
Yeah. So I'm like,
You figure you get the contract, you figure out the infrastructure after. You just do it.
so
Make it happen.
once again, I take a risk.
Sure.
I have 10,000 activity kits on the water.
Okay.
Will land next week. I bought a container to put in my driveway as a makeshift warehouse.
Container.
Sure.
And we are rolling. I
Cool.
mean, when I tell you we're going to sell those 10,000 kits,
Yeah.
we're like, the reps are after it right now. They're, you know, they sell either virtually. I mean, these women are so dynamic, and I'm so grateful to have partnered with the Dallas team, my LA or my Orange County rep, and then now we just onboarded our New York rep team. And they say, like, Jen, it's a tough time, but yet the orders keep coming. So I'm like, I know, I understand, but like this activity kit is a tie-dye party in a box. You get everything you need, and you get little slap bracelets, and you get hair ties that are tie-dyed, and you get inspiration, and you get this like really cool gift with purchase. So it was all these little fun things that I wanted to make and give to people to remember us by. And now it's become this tie-dye party that's amazing gift to give to a little one or as an adult. I mentored a community event the other day for this company called Fuse Corp, and they had me leading virtually. It's been this incredibly rewarding experience, and I'm trying to stay ahead so I can keep the bigger picture viewpoint.
Sure.
I kept on stressing about, oh my God, what am I going to do fourth quarter? It's going to come to me, and I just had faith. It's going to come to me, and so right now we're developing our next product. I told the reps what it's going to be, and they're like, oh, it's going to be so good fourth quarter. So now, got to figure that out.
So mind you not, there's still the family side of this too, where you have to balance, you know, because that's huge, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
got two little ones that are like, Mom, I used to be gone from 8 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
till 7 o'clock at night, every day.
Yeah.
Single
She's
mom.
home.
And now you're home.
Now I'm home, and they're like, why are you always working? Why are you always
home?
working? You know, you're here, but,
Yeah.
you know, you're not with us. And I'm like, but I'm with you. I'm just mommy has to work.
How old?
You know, I have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old. And they're the love of my lives. Trust me, they're amazing.
They're gonna look
And
back
You just
when
put
they
a-
have their business. This is what mom did, and that's probably why they're probably gonna be successful in what they do, because they're gonna see that.
I mean, they already are like lemonade. They go and hustle the
That's super
hustle the
cool.
streets.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs.
That's
you know?
super cool. They see you doing it. They're gonna get out there and do it.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So it's kind of a family thing as well. You said your father and everything else. You expect your 2 daughters?
Two
Sons.
sons.
Oh, 2 sons.
Yeah.
You expect your 2 sons to get into Momma Osa when they get older, or you think you expect them to start doing their own thing?
I don't know.
Are they all
mean,
getting too entrepreneurial at their own, at this young age?
I think that they don't know how creative they are naturally.
Sure.
I think that just being around a parent who, I challenge them to do things, knowing very well what my end result is. Like, I ask them to go ask tough questions when we're in stores. I ask them to handle things that I know that I can handle.
Yeah.
And I remind them, like, this isn't because mom's lazy. Mom has a goal, and it's really good for you to talk to people.
Yeah.
And so, it happens, and sometimes they're like, but mom, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I want to remind them that I see so much possibility in them, and I just want to bring out all their gifts, the way I know that I can. Because with all of my talents and all of my strengths, as a mom, you also see like some of the things that you could do a little better.
Sure.
So I just want to make sure that I'm really focusing on the things that I do well and give
Sure.
it to them.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick look here at your website. Actually,
Yeah.
I pulled that up a little bit ago. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website. All right, so this is Momma Osa's website,
Yep.
and let's go ahead and take a look. So you guys have some activity kits. Let's take a look at those.
Yep.
All right, adult. Go ahead.
So these are the activity kits. There's we sell adults, youth sizes, toddlers, and babies. Our main focus on the sizing is really youth and adults, but we'll make you a custom box, if you want, in the lower sizes. The website is going to go through a little bit of an overhaul in the next 2 weeks, so it'll be a little bit more user friendly. It'll be easier to find your activity kits, your colorways, and things like that. But essentially, there's themes of colors that you can buy. So, there's going to be right now there's 6 or 8 colorways that you can tap into. And then all your different sizes that you can buy. So, yeah.
Very cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Okay, that's awesome. Let's check out another one. That was really cool, actually. I like that you have them for different ages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, all ages.
All right, so here's some of the masks.
Yeah, so this is custom masks. And then we've sold out a lot of the the designed ones, like you see those down there. Those are the ones I took position on, and they are all gone except for the neon group.
Oh, wow.
But I made little collections, and then, Tilly's and the Buckle sold out quick and then reordered. So, and then those are the knit masks. And what I did at the beginning, just to let everybody know, I was like, I want to be known as a mask resource. I mean, I was making kits, and kits were selling, but I was like, how do I get masks and start selling them for, the entrepreneurial way?
Yeah.
So I'll just tell everybody very simply, I started representing home sewers. So if you look on my site, there's going to be some that are home sewn, and then there's some that I found from another company that I have a friend, and she sold it to me wholesale. And then I've taken down the ones that we've sold out on, but I just started buying up masks is the best way to say it. And then I added, not a lot, I added $1 or $2 for processing fees. And that's how I started. And just by that alone, just that simple idea of becoming a mask resource where people are like, Jen sells masks, buy them from her.
Right.
She gives one to the homeless and to,
Yeah.
vulnerable communities. Just by doing that, I mean, we started a storm, and it was really pretty cool. I mean, the message
love
got
that.
out, and partnered here with Ari on customizing. We've done specialized masks for YMCA, for the city of Linwood, for numerous businesses.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Super rad.
yeah,
I like your logo too.
thank you. I actually made that. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so you have to understand too, I went to art school, and I have a BFA in fashion, But I've been a design director for many years. And what that means really is that sometimes you don't necessarily get your hands as dirty as you used to when you're on your way up the ladder. So I haven't designed and like sat in Adobe Illustrator in some time. So I've been refreshing my skills. And when I say, you know, you learn everything from the ground up, I definitely have. I can build a tech pack. I can do all this stuff. I just haven't done it in a really long time. So I went in, built my own logo. And like there's shortcuts now, and that's the thing, like as you get through your career, you learn some of these shortcuts by all the really talented people that are on your teams. So I just learned from some of my old coworkers that are so dynamically talented, and I was able to create my logo and my t-shirt, which, you know, I'm wearing today. But then I'm also going to just jump into that a little bit, because not that I took people for granted in any shape or form in my career, but as I started going into business for myself, I mean, talk about eye-opening experiences on shipping and like the
Labeling,
processing
the process,
and
the infrastructure,
the infrastructure of a business.
Yeah.
And I just, this is another thing, I started reaching out to friends in my business that I've known from the past. Like I have a best friend from high school, Karen Osteria, Karen Wall. And I'm like, Karen, what does this mean? And she's like, Jen, calm down. And I said, I don't know what this means. She's like, call this person. And I'm like, okay. And I have another friend. She's like, I've got people for you. And so I get on the phone and I start asking questions. I'm sure some of these companies are like, who is this girl? And I just explained to them, I come from this many years of experience. This is what I know. I need help in this area. I've never done the logistics side, you know, like the EDI and all of this stuff. So I have learned, and now I'm actually getting pretty good at it. So, and some of these big boys that we're, you know, starting to work with, which I'm really excited to be working with some of these new accounts, you know, you have to know all of that. And so each step of the way I've learned. So now that we're ready to roll it out to some of these major accounts, I can literally say, yes, I know how to do that. And it feels so good.
It's so basically what you're talking about is the inventory system. When you get to a mass production of inventory coming in, there's a barcode labeling system that needs to go in before it goes out, so everything's traceable. So that's what she's talking about, because now that you make the mask, you make, let's just say, how many masks and socks, you got to send it to this company. It has to be barcoded so they know where it goes, because they might distro out to 10 different stores, so it has to have like a trail.
Right.
So that's where it gets crazy.
Our old company was so good at that, and I knew that there were people that we had hired, because we had, at one time we had 500 people in our company, and I was in charge of design for denim, but I had never, I mean, you put the order in and it just miraculously goes, you know what I mean?
It shows up on the shelf.
Yeah.
It magically happens.
No, I know there's so much blood, sweat, and tears in every level, and you know, you definitely like appreciate everyone who works with you, but I had never done their job before.
Sure.
And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I didn't know it took that to do this. And like the lingo, it's learning a new vocabulary. It's, you know, really teaching yourself how to do all these things. And, you know, there's some days where, you know, the boys are going to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I got to get up at 5 or 6 so that I can get all my stuff done before my boys start their day. Because then it's like, okay, take off the working hat and put on the mom hat. Okay, breakfast, you know, events, let's go to the beach. Okay, boys, I'll be right back. Stay with Auntie. I got to go take a call. And then, like, drive up the hill because you don't get cell service. And yeah, that's some of the fun stuff that has to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Being a business owner too, there's no there's no one holding you accountable but you.
Yep.
Which is almost, I think, harder.
It's way harder.
sometimes,
It's harder.
You know?
Way harder. There's the only motivation you have is that there is no there's no routine regimented, someone set out something for you to where you have to be up and doing something by a certain time. So if you don't have the self-discipline to do those things or to make those purchases or to take those risks or to be responsible enough to sit down and do all the work that needs to be done and all the little things that need to happen, like building the website and, you know, all, like you said, making the logo and everything else, all those little things that go into it, and the countless hours, then you have nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have what you have, you know.
Yeah.
So you have put in blood, sweat, tears, hours, you know, sacrifice, You know, so much has gone into making Momma Osa what it is. You can see that too, because here's the thing: you didn't go out, make 20,000 masks, make a good percentage, and go, yes, I made a bunch of money, and then like stop. What you did was you turned around. I am assuming that you reinvested a fair portion of that into the next part of it.
Roll it over
into the next growth.
Let it ride.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I'm feeling you, and then and I can see how that went into the most recent step in your growth. Exactly. So, I mean, that, like I said, that's a giant step. It's a giant steps from a big risk, from a big leap of faith that you took.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, you invested in yourself, which is pretty commendable. It's pretty awesome. It's not
inspiring.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. Everybody out there needs to take take some time and listen to what Jen's been doing here. It's very important. And she said a lot of things that made sense today, from not letting the no's accept her to from not letting the no's get you down, keep you in a bad place, to taking a risk, to risking something on yourself, to bringing family in to work with you, to every little aspect that you've done along the way has really helped you grow in this business. And one of the biggest things too was like what you did here too when you started just making phone calls and you started engaging with people, just engaging with, hey, and they would ask, hey, anything I can do to, I'm making a Facebook, anything I can do to help? Well, sure, if you know anybody who wants something out. That's you actually humbling yourself and asking for help. And just saying, hey, like I have a company, I need, I have some spots available if you guys would like to do, it would help me out, and you guys might make a little money doing it. And
I always tell my kids, some of the smartest people I know when to ask for help. And
always.
That's been like the biggest thing. Like that's been one of the things I've always told them, because I feel like my leadership in my old company, like they would come to me like, Jen, I don't know this about denim, so what do you think? Like I'm not going to know. I'm gonna go to the people who can help,
right.
solve the problem. So.
Don't pay the idiot tax. Yeah. Don't learn the hard way. You just find someone who's already been in that position and ask them.
Yeah.
Like you just don't pay the idiot tax. Let's ask somebody who's already been where you want to be and say, hey, how did you avoid that pitfall?
Right.
Oh, gotcha. I'll go do that. You know what I mean? I won't do what I was going to do, which would have put me right in that spot.
But the flip side, I mean, sometimes when you ask for help, you think it's some pity party.
Of course,
or
a lot of people are
I'm not sufficient enough.
Yeah,
but see, the people
a lot of pride
don't
going
think
around.
that. Like with pride, I'm like, yo, I need help.
Yeah.
Help me, please. Like I don't,
Exactly.
And also, it's not always like a perfect situation either. I mean, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, gosh, I'm really frustrated. Like, what else can I do? And then, it's really easy. I think, generally speaking, like all of us get in our own heads and like, oh my gosh, like maybe this isn't going to work. Like I have moments like that for sure. And I just want everyone to know, like, it's not just all about like roses and sunshine.
Of course.
But I think the important part when I really think about it is you allow yourself those moments. We're all human, but then, all right, pick yourself up. Like, what are we going to do to get through it? I got 10,000 masks, or not 10,000 masks. I got 10,000 kits on the water right now.
Right.
Activity kits. And I just know we're going to sell them all. And I'm, now we're planning the next round. So now I'm pushing the factory. Like, how quick can we get another 10,000? What am I going to do fourth quarter? I need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. So I'm trying to stay ahead of it. And we're developing and we're, shaking and moving, just using the experience and the strategy that I've learned my whole life and career. It's like you don't realize what you know until you're kind of away from it a little bit too, and what you can roll over. Because now I'm like, all right, someone's going to want to copy whatever we're doing. Like, it's just a natural of our business, right? It's like they emulate and they're going to do a version.
Yes.
So like stay ahead of it. So we're developing new product. I'm looking into like what's next. How do I do X, Y, and Z? Everybody has an opinion of what we should be doing. And I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. So like people come to me with suggestions and sometimes I'm like, does that fit my business model? Yeah, like that's a really great idea. And sometimes I know that I can't do it all. And I say, wow, that's a really great idea. Let me think about it and how, it will come to me in a little while. Or sometimes I just have to table it and be like, well, that's not the direction I'm going in right now. And of course, like, thank you so much, but I don't know if I can do that right now. It's been such an interesting journey, and I feel like I've learned so much about myself through this whole thing. I mean, when I say, COVID there was a time where it was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And
Sure.
the what ifs, you can definitely like climb under a rock and be like, oh my gosh, like let's hang up our hat. But it's like, or we'd look at the opportunities and the possibilities of the year and just try to figure out where am I going to take this? And I really, really am so grateful that it is turning out the way it is. And I just so motivated to keep it going. So
I'm going to show you a little like picture of why that's happening.
Okay.
And what you just said here will also illustrate a little bit about why in the midst of this, it's not all roses and sunshine. No. You're having sacrifice days. You're having days where tears are coming out, where you're like not sure what's going to happen. You're not sure what to do, right? Okay, so here's the thing. So this is a little graph that shows this line is positive, positive up top, negative right here.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys won't be able to see this. I'll put it up there later. There's a little positive up here, negative down here. This is time. Okay, and this is your actions. Okay, so imagine this as delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And then instant gratification. So you could have took that $20,000 at any point right here and used it for instant gratification. You could have paid your rent with it. You could have done whatever, bought food, you bought a car, whatever you want to do, right? And it feels good in the moment, right?
Yeah.
But that instant gratification doesn't only last for a certain amount of time, and then what happens is you go back to baseline, and then the domino effect of you making bad decisions and continuing down that line of instant gratification continues you down on a downward trip, right? So what you did was the opposite. You took the $20,000 at this point in time, you delayed the gratification, you risked the money, and what happened was you had some hard days. You had some days where you weren't sure what was going to happen, and you're down here, right? And you're at this point, and then what happens? Something starts to pick up, and you start to do some things, and then all of a sudden your investment starts to go like this, and you go, whoa, I delayed my gratification. I took $20,000, and I took some real rough days and some real shitty feelings at a certain point, and now what? Now look. And hey, what happened is you felt so good about the initial win that domino effect that I talked about that brings you down here starts making you make more decisions along this line that make you start going up even faster.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the line of positivity, when you start doing more things that have delayed gratification, like taking that $20,000 and risking it on something you did, you took it down here and you literally lived in a negative zone because it hurt. It hurt to take $20,000 and or 25 grand and put it somewhere, and it didn't feel good. And you weren't sure. There's unknown. There's all kinds of craziness down here. But when you did that, it caused more of an upward trajectory overall.
What is that called, that graph?
I don't know.
Did you just draw that?
No, I seen it the other day. A guy.
Pretty legit.
Yeah, dude, I was like, wow, the visually makes a lot of sense.
It does, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll send you the link to the video I saw the other day. Guy's name was Andrew Kirby, I think. He was I think he's from the UK, but super interesting graph that just kind of explains how you took why that worked. It explains exactly in real time, like kind of how and why that worked.
Yeah. So one other thing I think some people actually might want to know, which might get some criticism for this, but when I got laid off, there's things that open up when you get laid off from a long-time job. So your 401k, you have to decide what you're going to do with it. Okay. So I'm just going to talk about that for a second, because people are going to be like, wow, are you inherently wealthy? I just want to be very clear. Definitely not inherently wealthy. I have definitely been, in a sector where I was paid, decently for a very good amount of time. So I was able to build up my 401k. My financial advisor, is amazing, had me switch to a Roth 6 years ago, a Roth 401k. That means that you pay the taxes before it goes in. So when I got laid off, it allowed me to take that money out. I paid off debt. I lowered my overhead, gross stuff that I needed to pay every month. I paid some stuff off and kind of cleared the road. And then I had money to play with a little bit. But on top of that, there was a new law that kind of came out about taking more money out of your 401k. Yeah. And you have to put it back in order not to get taxed
in order
heavily.
not to get penalized,
So once again, I was like, this
you
is
had to take the risk to possibly put it back in so not to get penalized.
I took some more money out and I rolled the dice. But I felt like it was the best gamble I have ever taken. And I feel it's so rewarding to take it out and to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
So I would just, I mean, obviously I don't want people cashing out and like doing, frivolous things, but I will say that I feel like it was strategic risk. I feel like, I have experience in this industry. I feel really good about the risks I've taken. Definitely have learned some hard things too. Like we're sitting on some KN95, inventory. Sometimes the the market's saturated right now. So we're trying to move some things around to keep on, having that cash flow opened up. But, I wanted to kind of explain that because I feel like sometimes when I hear people's stories, they're like, wow, well, so like they just did it because they had the money, and it's like, no, it wasn't like sitting in an account,
Wasn't that you just had a bunch of money sitting around? No.
It was definitely a heavy consideration.
Extreme risk.
I waited and I talked to so many people, and some people were like, Jen, don't do it. You don't know. It was like, definitely got some fear-based feedback.
Sure.
From some of my friends and some of my family. They're like, Jen, that's your nest egg, and I'm like, I lost my nest egg once in the downturn the first time around in the 2008, 2009. And I was like, you know what? I'll rebuild. Like, this is a risk that I feel like I'm taking. And who knows, the market could crash and you'd lose that anyway. So at least I'm taking it out and investing it and investing in me. So I just wanted to clarify that really quickly and explain to people that sometimes the best risk that you can take is in yourself, because, failing forward is like the best thing you can do. And I really don't think I'm going to fail. I just think that, like, some people may have thought, wow, you got laid off. That could be, considered a failure. I consider it as one door closing, another one opening. And now I'm working, me and Ari talked about like being home more, being able to be more available to the kids, doing stuff around the house. And like all of those things are happening. And like I said before, like a lot of that with the kick in the butt that this one keeps on reminding me about. It's like things just kind of, they fall into place, but you're definitely on a trajectory to make that happen, and a common goal in mind. So I wanted to share with that.
Yeah.
Too.
And I don't think anybody ever has to like justify anything that they've worked hard for through their lives for. However, I do think a frame of reference is always positive. What I mean? So that was nice to have a little bit of frame of reference on that, and to also put things into perspective as well too. So people understand that it was a legitimate risk. It wasn't just like you said you just had money just sitting around like excess. You actually had to take it from a place where it had to go back, or else it was going to actually hit you even harder.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's not easy. That's not easy. And you like I said, there's been a lot of things, along the way, what you've done over, the past few months, since this has all started, that have kind of compounded itself into a positive return, and like I said, just a huge net positive for yourself and then the company, your family, your kids, everyone around you, and you being happier, just the energy that you exude to everyone in your, around, and it's just all positive, but yeah, and I think everyone should should take a page out of Jen's book here. I think you guys should pay attention. She did a lot of things right here. From the not saying no, to the risk, to the bet on yourself, to the turning around and putting it back in the company, to asking for help, to every little piece of the what you did along the way. I feel like it really dominoed into your success, and is continuing to do so. It's not like this is an end. It's not like you're there. You're still on the journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm like climbing right now.
Right.
There's
Exactly.
some serious climb happening right now,
Yep.
and it's exciting. It's a little, makes me a little nervous, but also like it's like if it's not making you a little nervous, it ain't big enough.
It ain't. You're making it. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Gotta feel comfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Exactly. And we love that. We and here, everyone out there, there's a lot of people who watch the show who are business owners as well.
Yeah. And
we're gonna have them commenting all the time and stuff like that. So I know they're gonna be really interested to see this and hear this as well. So I really want to check in with you in the near future and see kind of how much growth has happened since now. So let's go ahead and maybe we can get you on season 3, if season 3 of the listening room, if that would work out for you.
I'd love to come back.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And yeah, we'll just make that happen. Are you down?
I'm down, dude.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good, man. All
Always
right,
down.
you guys, thank you so much for watching the listening room today. You guys have been completely amazing. Thank you so much to my guest today, Miss Jen Cox. She's been absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Ari is always incredible, you guys. Miss Daisy down there, she's my co-host. You guys can always
Yeah,
find
Daisy.
the merchandise. Daisy is my co-host. Merchandise right there under the video.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later. You guys have a great night. And remember, guys, good things happen when you take the time to listen. See you guys next time in the listening room. Thank you all. Love you all. Thanks for being a part of the listening room tonight. My name is Eddie Booze. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications, and give the video a like. We'll see you guys every Monday through Friday right here at 6:30. Take care.